delighted to welcome our keynote speaker for tonight. He is the 2015 World Champion of Public Speaking, 5 times TEDx speaker, and a motivational speaker in more than 30 countries. Mohammed Qahtani will be speaking to us tonight about achieving something more in life with his speech, From Desire to Mission. Let's give him a round of applause.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to thank the Dhahran Club for having me and for giving me this opportunity. And I would like to start by asking you this question. Have you ever seen someone successful in life, whether rich, famous, an author, an entrepreneur, and ask yourself, what does that person have that I don't have? What qualities that person possesses that I cannot put my hands on? Have you asked that? I mean, have you asked yourself that question?
Yeah.
Do you want to know what those people have that you don't have?
Of course. Sure.
The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are people just like you and me, with limbs and eyes and ears and all that other stuff. There is no difference. They have the same amount of time that you have, 24 hours every single day. So how come they were able to achieve something high while I'm sitting at home doing nothing? The journey to success, ladies and gentlemen, starts with the first step, desire. Now there are 4 main types of desires that every human being possesses. The desire to be rich. Money. Who could say no to that? The desire to be famous. I want to walk down the streets and people want to take pictures with me. The desire to have power. I want to be in charge of people. Or the desire to be influential. I want to live this life with a legacy. I want you to think about that for a minute now. What is your desire? Is it money? There's no shame in that, by the way. Is it fame? That's okay as well. Is it power? That's fine too. So who wants here to be rich? Who wants to be famous? Who wants to have power? Who wants to be influential? That is your first step. Determine what is your desire. That's step number 1. Now we go to step number 2. Talent. Study shows that every human being on this planet possesses 1 or more of 8 possible talents. Now I'm going to go through every type of these talents, and I want you to think about it for a minute and ask yourself, is this the talent that I have? Number 1, the linguistic talent. Are you a person who loves reading and writing and poetry? Do you enjoy doing the crossword puzzle? Do you find it easier for you to learn other languages? If you are that person, then you have a linguistic talent. How many of you here has a linguistic talent? Raise your hands. Number 2, logical talent. Do you love math? Yes. Numbers? Yes. Video games? Yes. Do you enjoy solving puzzles? Then you have a logical talent. How many of you here has a logical talent? Raise your hand. Number 3, the body talent. Do you like to spend most of your time outside the house? Do you like sports? Do you like activities? Do Do you like building things with your own hands? If that's who you are, then you have the body talent. How many of you here has the body talent? And like him. All right. Number 4, the social talent. Are you or any of your friends, and I'm sure that you have that person in your life, have you been to a party and you see this person who just clicks with everybody? He can talk with everybody. He doesn't shy out from speaking to strangers. A person who has so many friends. If that's who you are, then you are a social person with a social talent. How many of you have that talent? Number 5, the interpersonal talent. Are you a person who can motivate yourself by yourself? When you want to go to the gym, do you need a buddy with you or can you do it on your own? Are you loyal to your job, to your family, and to your friends? Do you have a high respect for time? If that's who you are, then you have an interpersonal talent. How many of you have that talent? Number 6, the musical talent. Do you have a beautiful voice? Do you sing in the shower? Do you find it easy to learn a musical instrument? If that's who you are, then you have a musical talent. Unfortunately, my voice sucks, so, but you know. How many of you here has a musical talent? Number 7, spatial talent. When I tell you the color red, what comes to mind? Red. Other people think of fuchsia and maroon, and then red breaks into like 10, 20 different colors. Is it easier for you to navigate and know what is north and south and east and west? When you read books, do you like books that has pictures in them or long novels? If you are a person who gets stimulated by pictures and colors, then you are a spatial talented person. How many of you has that talent? And finally, the nature talent. When you travel, do you enjoy it most to go to museums or go to parks and natural places? Are you a person who cares what do you put into your body? I have to watch my calories intake and know this is good for me, this is not good for me. Are you fascinated by how the human body works? If you're a doctor, I assure you, you'll have that talent. How many of you here has that nature talent? So these are the 8 different talents. What talent do you have? We started with the desire as step number 1. And now we learned what talent do we have. You want to be famous, and you have a body talent. You love sports. What could you be? A soccer player, an athlete. You are a logical person. You love numbers, and you want to be rich. What could you be?
Banker?
A banker, a stockbroker, and so on. So now we're narrowing down where we want to fit in our lives. And then we move to step number 3. Hobby. You have this talent, you know you're really good at it, and you practice it as a hobby. You love chess? You join that chess club. And whenever you have time, you come and play a little chess. But it's when you have time. It's not your priority. Why? Because sometimes we think to ourselves, all right, fine, I have this talent, but can it really pay the bills? Maybe I should focus on something that actually works. Sure, I enjoy doing it, but it's just a hobby. The sad thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is for a lot of people, they do not go past step number 3. They have a talent they're really good at, but they only do it whenever they have time. It's just a hobby. So how can we break out of that cycle? Step number 4. Habits. Allow me to ask you this question. When you wake up in the morning, do you have a cup of coffee?
Yeah.
So you have a cup of coffee in the morning? Wow, great. Who has to have a cup of coffee in the morning?
Me.
All right, you do, yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Now, let me ask you this question. You woke up one morning,
Yeah.
you're late, you got dressed, and you rush to work without having your coffee. What happens to you?
My whole routine goes off.
Something is wrong.
Yeah. Totally.
Something is wrong. Why? Because coffee became part of who you are. Every morning, I have to have my coffee. And the day that I don't have my coffee, something is wrong. Something is not right. So what I want you to do is turn that hobby that you just practice for fun into a habit. A habit when one day you don't do it, something is missing. Something is not right. How do you do that? Study shows that if you do something for 21 consecutive days, it becomes a habit. If you smoke for 21 days, you're going to smoke for years. If you go to the gym for 21 days, you're going to go every single day after that. That's all I'm asking you to do today. Start tomorrow. 21 days. You're a person who like to take pictures, photography, Snapchat. 21 days. You have to post something. After 21 days, if you don't post something, something is missing. You like sports? 21 days. Every single day, do it for an hour. You like to draw? 21 days, draw something. And once it becomes a habit, it's part of who you are now. And it will be so difficult for you to stop doing it. So that's step number 4. Habit. Now we move to the longest and hardest step. Passion. You've been doing this for a while now. It's a part of who you are. It's a habit, but now we're getting serious with it. 10% of your time and money goes into developing you in whatever passion that you have. You like photography? 10% of whatever you make. Get it together and buy that expensive, camera that, with the lens, tripods and everything. You like sports? 10% of whatever you make. And 10% of your time, every single day, you have to go and play. Because now you're investing in yourself. But here's something. Whenever you are in this passion phase and now you're taking it seriously, you're not going to make it for the first time. Imagine if you're playing chess. Do you go and charge the king right away? Let me just come in. No, why?
You'll be caught off guard. You'll lose.
Because you're going to lose anyways. Why? Because you're just aiming for it right away.
Yeah.
It takes time. And it's going to take a lot of time. Weeks, months, sometimes even years. And you're going to fall once and twice, and 3 times, and 10 times, and 20 times. And there will be times when you are chasing something that you thought is so close, but you just don't get it. And there will be times when you're going to be crawling in your shower and you're crying and you're just wondering why I couldn't make it. But remember, every time you don't make it, you ask yourself, what went wrong? what did I do wrong? When you try the next time, that's a mistake that you are going to avoid. Sure, you're going to be making new mistakes, but you will never make the same mistakes ever again. And remember when I told you that you're going to have to put 10% of your time and money into developing who you are. Now that's 10% of money and time that you could have used for something else. So there will be some sacrifices. Allow me to take you back to chess again. Do you ever sacrifice your pawn for a move?
Yes.
Do you like losing your pawns? Of course not. But sometimes you have to in order to get something bigger. And the biggest sacrifice that you will have to do is your time. A lot of people say, well, I wish I can do something with this time that I have, but I honestly don't have time. In fact, you do have time. Little bits and pieces here and there. If you go into your phone right now and see how much time you use your phone in a day, I bet you it's more than 3 hours. 3 hours every single day. Ask yourself this question: did this 3 hours add something to you? Did it enrich your knowledge? Did it teach you something new? If not, then this is 3 hours that you could put to a better use. And you're going to be stuck in this passion phase for a very long time. And sometimes you might even come so close to giving up because you might think, I'm really not good enough. But I promise you, you keep at it, you will get to point number 6. Your goal. You wanted to be rich? Now you have millions. You wanted to be famous? Now you are everywhere. You got it. You won. Now let me ask you this question. How many of you here are in college? How many years have you been in college?
3.
Right. How many of you just graduated college or in the past few years? How many years did you spend in your studies? 4.5. 4.5 years. Long studies, sleepless nights, projects and a lot of coffees and pulling your hair and all that stuff. And then after 4.5 years, you graduated and you got that piece of paper. Answer me this honestly. Did you hold it and think to yourself, really? Is that it? I mean, I thought it's going to be this huge, explosive kind of moment, and it's just a piece of paper. Why do we not have the satisfaction when we reach the thing that we've always wanted to reach? The reason is because we wait for others to give us that satisfaction. We wait for others to tap us on the shoulder and say, you did a good job. But sometimes that does not happen. Because remember, this is your talent. This is your passion. This is the one thing that you wanted to do. But maybe those closest to you don't share it. It doesn't mean they don't like you or they don't love you. It's just they don't share the same passion that you do. And when you achieve something in that, you expect them to be there and, cheer for you and have a big celebration, but sometimes that does not happen. I remember when I won the World Championship of Public Speaking. And I was walking off the stage, I picked up my phone. And I thought to myself, I'm going to call my dad. Now I'm in the US, he's in Saudi Arabia, time difference, the guy is already sleeping. So I call him. He picks up the phone. Dad, what? I want to tell you something. Your son is the world champion of public speaking. He said to me, how much money are they paying you? I said, nothing. He goes, then why are you calling me? He hung up the phone. I love my dad and I know he loves me. maybe he doesn't share the passion that I do. And when you wait for appreciation to come from those closest to you, sometimes it doesn't come. Or sometimes it doesn't come as good as you thought it's going to be. Maybe your mom and dad just say, oh, congratulations. And you thought, is that it? I needed more. I've studied for 4 long years, and that's all I get. So what do you do in this case? Treat yourself to something. You remember the 10% that I told you to save? Out of that 10%, set aside some money for you. Buy something for yourself. That handbag that you always wanted to get. That vacation that you always dreamt to have. Tell yourself, once I get to my goal, once I achieve what I want, I'm going to buy myself something. You deserve it. You've achieved what you've always wanted to achieve. And now what? And that's a question that will loom in the mind of many. You've always wanted to be a doctor, and now you became one. Now what? You wanted to have a college degree, and now you did. Now what? What is your next step? Have you ever heard of Doctors Without Borders? Anybody?
Yeah.
Doctors Without Borders is an organization where doctors from all over the world join. Now these are very specialized doctors who get paid a very large amount of money. And yet, every year, they take a month or two, and they go to Africa, in the middle of the desert, in a tent with no air conditioning, to treat people for free. Why would they do that? Mr. Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, his fortune is so huge that if he spends, and I'm not saying he didn't shave it or whatever, no, if he spends $1 million every single day, it will last him to the day he dies. Now what? He took half of his fortune and gave it to charity. Why? Because the last step in the journey to success is mission. You've achieved something in your life, something that you've always wanted to get. Now it's time for you to reach back and pull someone so they can have what you have. It's time for you to make your name last in history. It's time for you to leave a legacy. Because we're all gonna die one day. We're all gonna leave this earth. Ask yourself this question: did I leave it a better place just because I was in it? If the answer is no, then with all due respect, what different life than an animal is that? When you die, there will be 3 types of responses. People could say, oh, thank God he's gone. or they could say, yeah. Or they could say, oh, no. Are you going to get an oh, no? You know, the only thing that stands in your way is not people, it's not the society, it's not the financial trouble. The only thing that stands in your way is you. I know each one of you wanted to do something with their life, but you thought to yourself, I can't, I'm too old now, or I don't have the finances for it, or my family is not going to support me, or nobody is going to help me out. See, nobody puts stuff in your way. You are putting the walls in your way. I promise you this, there is not something that a human cannot do. I learned that the hard way too. Last year I was giving a training session on public speaking in Riyadh. And when I started, there was like about 60 people in the audience. When I started, this young lady, about like her age, came from the back, walked to the front seat, and sat right in front of me. The front seat. She had her notes, and And she was looking at me. I started lecturing, and she always just looked at me without even blinking. I'm giving my lecture, and she's writing. And I thought, okay, this is the creepiest thing I've ever seen. For 3 hours straight, every now and then, I just glanced at her. She just kept staring at me. I thought it was a bit weird. I finished my lecture, and people come up to me to take pictures and talk to me, and then she came up to me. She said, Mr. Qahtani, that's all to me. I said, well, thank you. She said, you know, your story has been an inspiration for me as a person who grew up with a stutter and yet you became the world champion. I really thought that there's nothing that I cannot do. I said, well, that's actually true. There's nothing that you cannot do. And she said, and that's why I'm here today. You see, I want to be a public speaker. I said, well, of course you can. And then she said, but I'm deaf. She can't hear. And that's when it hit me. The reason she was looking at me the entire time was reading my lips. This is a deaf person who wants to be a public speaker. What's your excuse? I promise you, whatever you put your mind into, and if you are coping with the fact that you will not make it the first time, you're going to fall more than once, but learn from every step that you don't get it. Ask yourself why it didn't happen for me this time. Correct that mistake and try again. Correct that mistake and try again. One day, that dream that people used to laugh at